Very happy to see many of you get this one right. Okay, so you got these researchers at UM, and they're doing an experiment. They want to see the strength of a medicine. Okay, so they're conducting experiments to see how strong a certain medicine is. Now, they have these three different groups of people that they can use for their research. They can split the groups up however they want. It just says they have three groups of people. They have two drugs to test, mioxaprin and divalin. So these two drugs, that's the first thing they're going to test. The second thing they're going to test is three different dosages for these drugs. 2 milliliters, 4 milliliters, and 6 milliliters, which is not a whole lot of the drug. But regardless, that's what the question says. So you know that there's two things they're testing. The different types of drugs and the dosages. So remember that independent variables or variables, when it doesn't say independent variable, it's asking for, when it says just variable, it's asking for the independent variable. How many variables are in this experiment? How many things are different within this experiment? You can see that there's only two here. Types of drugs is one, and dosages is another. You see here it says they have two drugs to test. And three different dosages. Now sometimes you guys get confused and you think, okay, two drugs, that's two, and then three dosages, that's five. Or you multiply. I don't understand that rationale, but some of you do it. You have to think about it a little bit differently. Think about it in the terms of how many different types of things are they testing. They're testing two types of things. One, the type of drug, and two, the amount of dosages. It didn't matter if it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 milliliters each. It would still only be one under dosages and two types of drugs. So your answer for part A should say two types of drugs. What would be a good control for this experiment? Now, a control for an experiment tries to show what the effects would be on the drug, what the effects of the drugs would be. So your control for this experiment is going to be a group would have to have no drugs, because then you could honestly see if the drugs are really what's making a difference. What if everybody um, gets better, and maybe it's not the drug? Maybe it's not the different amounts of dosages, and maybe it's not the drug at all. Maybe they just happen to get better with time, or maybe it was something that they ate. There needs to be another group called the control group, which shows that yes, there is a difference because of the drugs, or no, there wasn't a difference because of the drugs. Having a group with no drugs would show what the effects of the drugs were, because then you could honestly be able to see very clearly what the effects of the drugs were. This one was a little confusing. You may have to watch it a couple of times. However, I'm proud that most of you got it right.